In 1983, Minnesota became the first state to require electric utilities to use net metering. Net metering allows people who generate their own electricity to sell extra power back to their utility, which has to buy this power at the same price that they sell it to others, up to a certain limit. This rule has helped make consumer-owned energy sources like solar and wind very popular in Minnesota. But after 40 years, is this system still the best way to meet the state's energy goals? We aren't asking for net metering to be completely eliminated, but we do think that there is an opportunity to update the law. Minnesota's net metering mandate spells out a practice where consumer generators can sell excess power back to their utility, and under a cap of 40 kilowatts, which is 5 to 8 times what an average home consumes at any one time, the utility is required to buy that power at retail rates. This would be as if the grocery store was required to buy produce from home gardeners at the same price the store is selling it for. What would happen to the price of food? What sort of systems would the industry need to add to make that work? Net metering lets people who generate their own power use the electric grid like a battery. When they produce more power than they need, the extra goes to the grid for others to use. When they need more power, they get it from the grid. The utility then calculates the difference and either charges or pays the consumer at the retail rate. Net metering was designed to encourage the growth of renewable energy. It has been very successful, with solar energy growing rapidly. In fact, when distributed solar is at maximum capacity in Minnesota, it produces as much electricity as the Prairie Island nuclear power plant, roughly 1,200 megawatts. People's Energy Cooperative has seen similar growth in our area, but this growth brings challenges. One challenge is that having many solar arrays spread around our system makes it harder to control the power grid's frequency, the speed at which the current alternates. This can affect everything from washing machines to MRI machines, which need a stable frequency to work properly. Another challenge is that these home energy systems use the grid's capacity and equipment, but don't generate revenue for the utility. This creates a gap that all customers have to cover. Also, buying power from these systems at retail rates is more expensive than buying wholesale or from utility-owned systems, as seen in this chart comparing distributed generation, wholesale power from Dairyland, and utility-scale solar that PEC is building locally. As you can see here, cooperative utilities recognize the importance of and have invested in renewable generation. But mandating net metering, forcing utilities to purchase power at twice the cost of other sources, raises the cost to all members to achieve, at best, the same per kilowatt hour reductions in carbon emissions. Because the price of home-generated power is the same all day, people are encouraged to produce energy even when it's not needed. This warps market pricing and discourages investment in affordable, steady power sources and energy storage. Energy storage is crucial for our energy future, but current net metering rules make it hard to invest in. Storage works best when the cost of buying power to store is much lower than the selling price. When there's too much high-priced power, storage becomes unprofitable, so no one builds it. Without storage, utilities have to build more expensive, often fossil-fueled power plants to meet demand, raising rates and not reducing greenhouse gases. Here's what we're asking the Minnesota legislature to consider. Limit all net metering rules to match the size of the consumer's energy needs, so people don't overbuild just to sell power to captive utilities, a growing issue. Allow flexible pricing that reflects real-time demand and pricing of the broader grid, and hold hearings to better understand the challenges of distributed generation and how updating the system can help us all meet our energy goals.